2022 to 23 was a big year for anime. We had Demon Slayer Season 3, One Piece longest arc ending, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Attack on Titans ending, and finally, the first season of the most sold manga that same year, Blue Lock. Obviously, Blue Lock's manga sales and popularity was inflated by the fact that the anime aired at the same time as the World Cup, but it doesn't change that Blue Lock is one of the most popular anime out right now. And with its second season getting flagged for its terrible animation, I wanted to talk about my problems with Blue Lock, and it's mostly not about the animation. As someone who actually watched football, I've always had a problem with Blue Lock since season 1. The very first problem that I had with Blue Lock was its portrayal of football, or the position striker. It's completely overblown and unrealistic, and I know it's not supposed to be, but still, the lengths they went to nail this idea of the striker has to have this crazy ego and be super selfish was crazy, completely undermining the tactics and the camaraderie needed in football. Although this problem was more prominent during the first half of the first season, and now in the second season, it's still there, but it's barely noticeable, so that's good. The characters of this show are also unremarkable, and I'm not even basing this off something I usually do, which is character writing or character plot. I'm not even taking that into account. I just don't really care for characters in this show. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like Baru, Nagi, Chigiri, and Bachira, but would I say I care about them? Except Bachira and maybe Nagi, I don't really care about the rest of them. Even with Chigiri having the best character story in season 1, I don't really care for him, since after his story ended, he just turned to any other character in the show. Just okay. Even the MC, Isagi, I don't really care for, but I do like him. It's weird, like a lot of the characters in this show are likable, but they also don't make you care for the characters in this show. Like, if you get rid or replace any of them, excluding Nagi and Bachira, because they did carry my enjoyment in season 1, if you got rid or replace any other character, I don't think my enjoyment for the show would change. But it's not all bad, because in season 2, they finally got me interested and, dare I say, care about a character and their story, and it's Rin Itoshi Sae Itoshi's story. I just watched episode 9 of season 2, and it's the best episode of the season so far for me. Really good directing, and not gonna lie, the directing for the second season has been carrying that season. Holy shit. And the brothers' rivalry got me thinking that there might be a Itachi Sasuke thing going on there, with how Itoshi Sae is treating and pushing his little bro Rin Itoshi. Another problem that I have is feeling that the field is too short. Ego said at the start that all the fields they play on are regulation size, but it does not feel like that. Every time I watch a match, the field feels so small, and I think that's bad, because when I watch an actual football match, I feel and see how big
Pause.
the field is, and it makes the feats of the athletes more incredible. I don't know why Blue Lock has that problem, because in other sports anime, I usually don't have that problem. Maybe it's the animation, like the camera work. We don't really get a lot of wide shots of the field, thus making it feel smaller. Or maybe they just have a problem with portraying how fast the characters are in this show. Or maybe it's both. It's probably the latter. Anyways, yeah, animation, not really Blue Lock's strong suit. Even in season 1, it was average at best. And in season 2, I don't know how they did it, especially with how successful season 1 was. You would think that the animation would improve. Nope, it did the opposite. It got even worse. We got a PowerPoint presentation from 8-bit. Like, at least in season 1, we got some shitty ass animated drone shot or widebans. In season 2, the drone shots are gone, and the widebans got replaced by this abomination. Like, what the fuck is that? It's already hard enough to picture.
Ugh, brother, ugh. What's that?
where the players are and their position in the show, which is another problem. Removing the white pants only exacerbate that problem. And also, the thing that replaced the white pants, we barely even get. I mean, I know it's ugly and it's worse than actually seeing the players and their position, but it still helps keep in track where the players are. And it's certainly better than Isagi having to tell you where every single player is situated, which is another problem. This show does a lot of telling rather than showing. And when I say a lot, I mean I would go out and say that this show does nothing but tell. And it's so overboard that it might be their biggest problem. Like I said, Isagi will have you tell every single player's position, which leads you to read so much dialogue that it actually makes it harder to picture where the players are located. And so the dialogue will have a reverse effect of making it harder to understand what's going on in the field, even though the dialogue's job was supposed to help you picture and understand what's going on. And I know it's Isagi's power, so it's supposed to be like that, but I feel like you could portray his power so much better rather than him going on a 10-minute tangent on what's going on. And I have a suggestion. Okay, picture this. Isagi is trying to find where and who's at the best position to receive his pass. The camera zooms in his eyes while they do that black emo stuff on his eyes. After zooming into his eyes, we get a full wide shot on where the other players are and how tightly they are guarded and things of that nature. Now tell me, is that not a better way of showing Isagi's power instead of him monologuing to himself the entire show and making it feel like you're reading someone commentate over a match? And you might say, well, it's like that in a manga. And I'll say, yes, and the manga is better because of it. Because when you pick up a manga, you know you'll be reading, not watching. The point of an anime adaptation is to make the manga watchable. And to do that, you might have to cut out some dialogue and explain it through animation. Anime adaptation have been doing this shit for years. So if you don't take advantage of having animation, then what's the point of Blue Lock having an anime adaptation? I think overall, it's just a shit adaptation of the series. And for once, it's not because of the anime not sticking to the manga. It's the anime sticking too much to the manga, to the point of it being the exact same. Now, while I do think that the manga and the anime are pretty much the same, this scene is better in the manga. Also, while showing you this scene, it also shows how bad the animation of this season is. Just look at this. I'll play it frame by frame when fucking Sai controls the ball and goes mid-air. And while he's in the mid-air, the very next frame, he's past Isagi in Bachira. Like, what the fuck? Look. Mid-air, 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 mid-air. Next frame, he's fucking... What the fuck happened? Bro, in football, there's so many things. While in the mid-air and he's going down, he has to control it on the way down. Then after he controls it, he has to fucking flick the ball forward to get past Bachira and Isagi. And we don't even see that. The next frame, he's fucking past both of them. Like, what the fuck? At least in the manga, you can kind of see Sai flick the ball forward to get past these two. Like, here in the anime, it's literally the next frame, he's past them. Like, what the fuck did he do? Bro, it's so bad. And we actually got a wide shot there. I didn't realize that. I mean, standstill is wide shot, but it's still a wide shot, so we'll take it. And with the anime having such shit animation, a lot of people are saying that the manga is so much better. And while I do agree that it is better, it's solely not because of the animation. Like, I saw someone say that this Shiro goal was so much better in the manga, so I looked and it's literally the exact same. Same shots, same dialogue, like everything about it is the same. While the manga is better, it's not because the anime is animating the goals badly. At least not most of them, at least. It's because you can get through it quicker. Like, this whole Shiro goal took about 10 to 15 minutes to finish in the anime. In the manga, it took me about 2 to 3 minutes to finish. And with the anime being the exact same as the manga, either way, you'll be reading a lot, so might as well just go for the format that makes it quicker. The final thing I'll say about Blue Lock is how corny it all feels. Like a lot of the cool shots they do are all hilarious because of how cringe they are. Some of these shots screams that one guy or girl you know that think they're much cooler than they actually are. This show just feels edgy for no reason whatsoever. If you saw clips from this anime without context whatsoever, you wouldn't think this show's about football. You would you would think that this shit is from Tokigo or something. And lastly, you know that thing that went around about how Jujutsu Kaisen is an aura anime and that it's carried by its aura? This show Blue Lock is literally, figuratively, the definition of aura anime. I mean, have you seen the animation? It's literally just aura everywhere. I mean, it looks cool though. I mean, they're doing a good job on the colors of the aura. So still, fucking shit. With that being said, that's it for me. Leave a like on the video if you agree with what I had to say, and if you don't, feel free to voice your opinion down below. And while you're down there, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Once again, it's just my phantom thoughts.
出せよクソメガネもう殴んねえからさ聞こえてんだろ殺すだろクソメガネよう悪魔か誰だてめえこのカゴはお前には狭いだろ俺が出してやるお前のエゴが欲しい俺のために暴れる